Hey everybody, welcome to Jamaicans.com. We are live. Tell your friends. Okay guys, so welcome back. This is our second week in the nutrition series and I'm super excited to be here with you all this evening. I'm coming to you live from New York, Bronx, and guys, tonight we're going to be talking about a very important topic. Okay, it's a serious but very important topic, which is diabetes. Now, we were planning on, or at least I was planning on covering a few different topics this evening, but I've decided to just focus on diabetes because, quite frankly, it's a lot of information and I want you to be able to digest just this portion, specifically focusing on diabetes this evening. All right, so that's going to be what the conversation is going to be about this evening: diabetes, prevention, what you can do. Next week, I'll go into hypertension and high blood pressure. All right. So as we're getting started, I would love to first say thank you, huge thank you, big up to Jamaicans.com for having me on here. I am excited. I am truly excited to be here because I am like over the moon about sharing nutrition information. If you haven't noticed, I'm a nutrition educator. I just love to share nutrition information. I pester my friends about it, my family about it, and now I'm here pestering you guys. So get used to it. I'm here for 8 weeks. This is my second week, so we got another 6 more to go after this. Anyway, so yeah, let me tell you a little bit about myself. For those of you who were here last week and are back this week, I'm so happy that you decided to come back a second time to see me. So welcome back. Hello from Japan. Very cool. Yeah, guys, so a little bit about me. I am a nutritionist, like I said before, specifically plant-based, which means I believe in plant-based diets, and that's how I actually eat myself. I used to be a meat eater, but now I have completely made the switch and I eat mostly pretty much plants and fruits. That's what I eat. All right. In addition to that, I recently graduated last year with a master's degree in nutrition, and I have been teaching nutrition education up in Harlem, which is not too far from where I live. It's super convenient. But yeah, I teach nutrition education to the middle schoolers, and I love that because the kids, they are so curious about food. We do cooking workshops there with them, and it's important to teach the young ones. So whatever I teach you, make sure you're teaching your children, all right? It's good to teach the young ones because nutrition is so important. Someone is saying no sound. Someone says no sound. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. I want to make sure my sound is good. Okay, so I got some thumbs up. I'm assuming that we have sound. All right, so looks like we have sound. Great. Thank you guys for confirming that. All right, so where was I? Right, so I was talking to you about my background, right? So I teach nutrition education to the students in middle schoolers in Harlem, and I also am a community. I can hear your voice. Awesome, thank you. So I also am a community health nutritionist here in the Northwest Bronx, and what I do with that role, I deal with a lot of food justice issue, and I work with a super awesome team, and we focus a lot on food insecurity, which is a huge problem, all right? And so that's one of the roles that I play. In addition, I have a business called My Temple Wellness, and with that role, I talk about things like I'm doing now, like I do workshops. I work with a lot of churches and community organization. My Facebook page is My Temple Wellness. And so my social media handles are all My Temple Wellness. So if you want to find me, go to My Temple Wellness on Insta, My Temple Wellness I do have a YouTube channel and I put recipes and stuff on there. So go check me out on that. And I have a website. So it's mytemplewellness.com. All right. So that's where you can find me. And again, guys, super happy you're here. Thank you for letting me know that you're here. I'm seeing all the thumbs up and all the likes and all the loves, and I already saw Japan on here, which I think is like so cool. What time is it in Japan? Because I used to live in Bali, Indonesia, and it was like 12 hours ahead. So yeah, anyway, great to see you guys as you're coming in. Please put down, let me know where you are coming from. All right. So before we get into the topic tonight, I want to do a disclaimer. All right. So like I said, I'm a nutritionist. I am not a medical doctor. And so what I want for you guys to do this evening when you get this information, definitely use it, right? Talk to your doctor about the information that's being provided. But I don't want you to use this information as a substitute by any stretch. Do not use this information as a substitute for taking your medicine, for example. Okay, so if you are on diabetic medicine, if you're on insulin or anything like that, please, Tamika, hey, Welcome. Happy to have you, girl. I'm seeing some of my friends come on and it's really cool. But anyway, guys, so do not use this information as a substitute for your medicine, you know, for taking your medicine. All right, so that is super important, guys. Want to make sure you get that. I'm gonna go shout some people out right now before I get started. So Carla from London, Mike from St. Petersburg, Florida, cool to have you, Florida. Princess Patsy from UK, Bristol, Florida. Grace Hilton, happy to have you. Vivian, good evening, from Houston, Texas. Amazing. No, not a registered dietitian, just a nutritionist. And Brooklyn, Julianne, great to have you. Hyacinth, I think is how you say that, and it's 5:05 in Japan. Very cool. All right, guys, so I just spent some time in Dava Bronx. Carrick, we know who you are. Very cool, guys. Happy to have you all on here. So as we get into this topic this evening, like I said before, not a doctor, just going to be giving you some basic information. Diabetes is one of the most challenging disease that is faced worldwide. Okay, causes a lot of death and a lot of issues. Just so you know the format, guys, I'm basically going to be talking now for a period of time, okay, doing some education, nutrition education piece. Then I'm going to be doing the cooking portion. I'll try to talk to you as we go, but if I don't happen to get to your question, just know that I'm going to get to it, okay? So I'll get to it after or at some point, all right? All right, so feel free to leave your questions and comments. I really love to see them, all right? So let's keep going. Right, so where was I? Right, so diabetes, right? Diabetes is a super challenging thing that we're facing worldwide, and therefore we have to make sure that we have information, as much information as we possibly can, okay, on that. And so this is not going to be sort of like trying to tell you what to eat, right? I'm not here to say, oh, eat this and it's going to fix your particular situation, because everybody is different. My body is different than yours. Our genetic makeups are different, right? So every person needs to have a completely different set of, how can we call that? Like prescription, so to speak, right? So for me right now, what do I do to make sure that I stay healthy? I eat a very balanced plant-based diet. Now, somebody mentioned something last week, and I wanted to address that actually quickly. So while I'm a plant-based nutritionist, I have to mention this, and I did answer it in the comments because the gentleman asked a question. Now, vitamin B12, I'm not promoting a particular brand, but this is vitamin B12. If you happen to be plant-based, this is something that you really need in your diet. Okay, so I wanted to point that out. If you're plant-based, if you're going to go plant-based, you need vitamin B12. It's something that we absolutely cannot do without, okay? We need that to function. All right, so I had to get that out of the way before I forget. All right, so let's talk about what is diabetes. And I'm doing that because a lot of people kind of don't really have an understanding of what diabetes really is, right? So first of all, there are 3 different types, right? So we have type 1, we have type 2, and we have gestational diabetes. In addition, guys, there's also pre-diabetes. So let me just talk about pre-diabetes first, right? So pre-diabetes is when the insulin, I'm sorry, not insulin, when the blood sugar is at a high level, but it's not high enough for your doctor to say you're diabetic. Okay, so that's also like a concern right now, right? Pre-diabetes is also a concern. Then you have type 1. Type 1 is basically somewhat, there's not a lot of information about it right now, but they think it's like more genetic related. And it's usually happening with folks that are younger. So unfortunately, like teenagers, that's around when they see that develop. Now, type 2 is the main one, right? And that's the one that we're going to be talking about tonight. And I'll get really into detail with that in a little bit. When it comes to gestational diabetes, that pertains to folks, ladies, okay? So that happens with some women that are pregnant. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does, and that's also diet related, okay? So now let's get into type 2, right? So type 2 diabetes, like I said before, it is the main type of diabetes. So when you talk about the amount of folks that have diabetes, for example, right, the diabetes, so some people are saying they have no audio. I'm not sure why that is. But thumbs up if you have audio. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm assuming the audio is good. Let me just check my device out here. I think it's fine. I'm not really sure why. Can you hear me, guys? Give me thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, good. I got some thumbs up, so I'm gonna keep going. All right. I'm not sure what's going on, if it's some folks' phone or what it is, but it seems like a lot of people can hear me. I'm going to maybe project just a little bit louder. I don't want to yell at you guys. So I'll try to project my voice just a little bit louder. All right. So when we talk about the type 2 diabetes, right, as I was saying before, I was saying that it is the main, and that's why I like to just get the nutrition education piece out and then answer you guys, because it's just, I have all the information, just trying to get it out. All right, so yeah, so with that, with type 2 diabetes, right, what's happening is that, right, so there's a lot of people that have type 2 diabetes, right? So the percentage is this. So 10% of the population that have diabetes is only type 1, and then 90 to 95% of the population who has diabetes has type 2 diabetes. And that is why it's such a huge concern. It's a huge burden on the healthcare system, as well as a huge burden it's a huge burden on your health, obviously, right? All right. So what are some of the things that we can do, or what? Let's talk about exactly what it is. So what's happening with type 2 diabetes is, so carbs. Last week we were talking about proteins, carbs, and fats. So the carbohydrates that we're eating, for example, we're ingesting the carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates goes into your bloodstream, and it turns into sugar, also known as glucose, right? So when you, folks are saying they still have no auto. All right, I'm gonna keep going. All right, so when the blood has a lot of sugar, for example, and the sugar level goes up, the body has a natural system that it's supposed to use to take the sugar and bring it into the cell, right, or the muscle. So basically, whatever you're eating is converted, right? So carbs, fats, protein, everything gets converted, all right? And so the carbohydrate specifically turns into sugar, which is glucose, and then that gets carried over into the cell. Now, what's happening with a lot of folks who have what we call insulin resistant, which is basically type 2 diabetes, the struggle here is that it's not happening, right? This transaction is not happening. Insulin is sort of like the key that allows this sugar to go into the cell so that you can function. Now, I'm standing here talking to you. I need energy. You need energy to run, to walk, to do everything that we're doing. We absolutely need energy. And so we're getting that energy predominantly from carbohydrates. Now, you get energy from all the foods you're eating, but energy comes, the main source is carbohydrates. And so the issue with that is you're not functioning properly, clearly, because of that problem. Okay, but we need to find out what we can do to basically prevent that. All right, so let's get into that. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know a little bit of stats, right? And I wrote the stats down specifically because I didn't want to give you the wrong information. So 80,000 people, and I wanted to mention it because when you think about COVID-19, and I checked recently on the news that the numbers are very high now, so it's in the 80,000 range. Well, that's with COVID-19, folks are dying, and we know that it's pre-existing conditions and all of that. But the numbers are staggering with diabetes every year. So with diabetes, it's about 80,000 people, specifically in the United States, okay, that are dying from type 2 diabetes every single year. And I'm not really sure why this is. Clearly, we're trying to, I think the government and folks are trying to bring attention to it, but I don't think people really realize that. Now, we're on Jamaicans.com, so I want to show you Jamaicans.com information. So in Jamaica, it's the second leading cause of death in Jamaica. Right? And I think in 2018 the study was done, and over 220,000 people currently have type 2 diabetes in Jamaica. Now, I want to tell you guys a little story about myself. So I was raised, I think I told you guys that I was born and raised in a Jamaica, right? That's where I come from. I know I don't always talk with an accent, but I've been over here for a long time, so forgive me. Anyway, so that's where I was born. That's where I was raised. I was actually raised on a farm. So my father had we had some land, right? Actually, it was all family land. And we had cows, we had pigs, we had goats and stuff like that. We had chickens. I was responsible for helping out with the pigs. Now, we ate everything. You know, when if you're from the island and you've ever been living on a farm, you know what happened. If you sell your animal to a butcher, they bring you back a piece of the meat, right? And so we would eat the meat. We enjoyed meat. That was something that, I'm not gonna lie to you, it tastes good. Curry goat tastes good, oxtail tastes good, fried chicken tastes good, rice and peas tastes. I mean, all these different foods are so delicious. And I inherited the recipes from my mother. My mom inherited hers from her mom, right? So a lot of us were inheriting these recipes. And so when we think about genetics and family history and all of that, we are unfortunately perpetuating the diet, right? We're perpetuating the diet that what we inherited, and therefore we're perpetuating the diseases that our family have. So when I was coming up as a little girl, I witnessed a lot of death in my family. Now, my grandmother had 16 children. You heard me right, 16 on my dad's side. On my mom's side, there was 8. Okay, so I'm from a very, very large family. I'm blessed with a lot of family, and it's such a blessing. It's really awesome. But when you lose your family members, it really, really takes a toll on you, especially when you're a little girl. And I was a young girl losing my uncles, losing my aunts, my cousins in my neighborhood. And we all live in a close proximity, so you feel it, you know? And just to share this with you guys, and it's, even thinking about it, it's really heavy. But from where I was sitting in my veranda in my house, there was a shop, well, we call it a shop, across the way. And across the way, what they would do, so it was my uncles and cousins and all the men, right? There was like a little rum bar there. You guys know rum bar? Now, I was raised in a Christian family, so, you know, my dad wasn't over there, but there was a lot of my family members that were there. People from the district and everything would come and drink their rum and smoke and everything like that. Another issue when it comes to diabetes, right? Because alcohol and cigarette smoking, all of that plays a role in the illness. And I would remember that one of the things that they would do there was also build, it's gonna sound bad, guys, but it's the way I was raised, is what I saw. They would build the coffins over there. So people who pass away, that's where they would build a coffin. I would see them, you know, they play dominoes over there too. They would hang out over there, but when someone died, that's where the coffin was being built, and I could see that from my house. And that was very hard as a little girl to keep seeing people passing away, and you're finding out that it's this sugar business, right? Because that's what we call it. That's what we call it. Most people, even up here in America, people call it sugar, all right? So diabetes have been killing people. I've witnessed it. And so this topic is it's a very serious topic for me, and it's a very heartfelt topic for me. When I wrote my thesis, I did it on diabetes. That's the area I chose to focus. A lot of the work that I did in my master's program was on diabetes, and even my application, when I was submitting my application to get into grad school, I spoke about my story with my aunt who passed away from diabetes, and it's what really propelled me into trying to get information out there. So you have to know, guys, that you can actually reverse type 2 diabetes. Now, if you don't remember anything else from my conversation with you tonight, you need to remember that type 2 diabetes is reversible with the proper diet. And it's something I want you to go to your doctor and ask them. Right? So if you listen to me right now and you have type 2 diabetes, the next time you see your doctor, ask them, say, there's a lady who said, a nutritionist who said that you can reverse type 2 diabetes with diet, and then see what they say. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There are a lot of doctors, and it's nothing against doctors, right? Nothing against doctors, nothing against the educators who are teaching about diabetes, but you have to understand that natural, raw, healthy diet is meant for our bodies. Now, there's a lot of propaganda out there. There's a lot of people out there. Yes, Jody, you can reverse type 2 diabetes. Thank you for saying that. That is exactly true. You can reverse type 2 diabetes, but a lot of people do not know that. And so it's great when you have people like that, like Jody Lynn, who's coming on and saying that to us, right? Reminding us of that. And that's what I want you guys to take away. Now, I'm going to go into some more information, but I want you to remember that, okay? You can reverse it, and you have to be able to do the work. I was speaking with someone recently, and they were saying to me, you know, a lot of people sometimes, they know the information, but they just don't do it. Like, why is that? Like, what? We lack discipline. Let's be real. We lack discipline. Now, it's affecting our community. Now, I sound passionate because it really bothers me. This thing really bothers me. We lack a lot of discipline in our culture. When you talk about Black people, Caribbean people, African people, we want it, but we're just not willing to do the work. We love with food. We love with accent. We love all these different things. We love frying. That's a part of our tradition. one of the things that we have to think about is we grew up, like I was telling you guys a story. I grew up inheriting these things, inheriting the recipe, and it's a part of our culture. And it's amazing and it's wonderful to have that. But you need to learn to do the balance. And we're going to do a little bit of that tonight, because I'm going to show you guys a dish that I prepare in my house at least once, twice a week, right? So we're gonna do that at the end, and I'm gonna wrap this up quite quickly because I don't want to be here for too long with you guys, but I do want to get into some of the facts. So you get it, right? You can reverse it. You just need to know what you need to do to reverse it. So what's the next thing on my list that I want to talk about? All right, so what are some of the reasons why folks have this issue with diabetes? So guys, if you're not exercising, right? If you're not exercising, if you're eating a poor diet, which we discussed last week, right? So if you guys want to go back to my video from last week, I went through what we need to eat: protein, carbs, fats, the vitamins, and the minerals, right? Those are the things that I've already mentioned. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I'll give you a general topic, right? So general idea. You need to avoid processed foods, any type of processed foods, hot dogs, chips, right? Sugary foods, a lot of the sugary foods, the cakes. And again, we're programmed. The marketing is happening to us, right? The culture, I think I mentioned culture already, is happening to us. We have all of these different things that's happening, and we have to make sure that we know what's affecting us. The sedentary lifestyle. We don't like to work out. We don't like to exercise. And let me tell you guys something about me. I'm somebody who, I'm going to be honest, I'm not necessarily a big exercise person, right? Like, I'll go to the gym here and there. I have my membership. I'm like most people. I might go 2 times a week. I've been working on it. But what I do love to do, I love to run. I love to run. So I run in my neighborhood. I go for a walk. Like, let's say if I want to go for the supermarket, I was telling you guys, when I go buy my avocados, I walk. I take a walk down the street, pick up what I need to pick up, and then I come back home, right? So you have to start finding something that you enjoy, right? That's something that you enjoy doing, something that you enjoy doing that's physical. Some people like boxing, right? So you need to stay physical active. Now, one of the main things I want to share with you guys tonight is a formula. And I'm gonna make it easy for you, because you're just gonna use Google. You're gonna cheat. You're gonna go to Google. You're gonna figure it out. We are going to talk about BMI, body mass index. Now, before I even get into the body mass index, to tell you, you could basically find that on Google. Just type it into your Google and you can calculate it. Obesity is the main driver, not only of diabetes, but also of hypertension and of heart disease. Okay, and so when it comes to being having excess body weight, that is the main problem. Okay, for a person who can reduce their body fat, it's going to make a huge difference. And that's why tonight what I want to share with you guys is BMI. This is going to help you. Now, for folks who have muscles, right? If you have a lot of muscles and you have a little bit of extra weight on you, it's related to the muscles. And so this BMI thing I'm going to tell you about, it could be a little controversial to some people because of the fact that some people argue and say, well, I have a lot of muscle, and so it's fine. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to focus specifically on this guideline. So when you go to Google, you're going to type in BMI, body mass index. It's basically trying to say what your height versus your width, basically, in essence, right? So how much body mass you have in relation to your height. Okay, so for a person who's, let's say, 6'2", 220 pounds, when you go into your Google BMI calculator, you're just going to, and CDC website have it, a lot of these major websites have this option for you to go and put this information in. So then you're going to put in, let's say, 6'2", right? It's going to give you the specific box. You're going to put that in. The next box should be your weight. You're going to put that in. It's going to calculate a number for you. That number is going to tell you whether you're in a healthy range. Now let's talk about the healthy range, right? So I believe it's 18.4, 18.5 to 24.9, right? That's a healthy range, right? So if you're within that range, you should be generally okay as far as weight is concerned, right? So you shouldn't be too concerned about that. Now, if you're underweight, that's also a problem, right? Might not necessarily be a problem for diabetes, because that's what we're talking about tonight, but if you're underweight, you do need to sort of get yourself to a healthy weight. That's very important. All right, so let's move on to the next category. So if you are from 25 to 30, you're in the overweight category. In the overweight category, you have a easy chance of getting into the normal, right? Very easy chance to get, especially if you're closer to 25, you can get right back over fairly fast. All right, now the other category is obesity, obese class 1, they're calling it, right? And that's from 30 to 35, okay? And then obesity class 2 is from 35 to 40. Now, the next level that you really want to be concerned with is 40. Now, you guys probably heard this with COVID-19. They've been talking about anybody who's above 40, their BMI is above 40. That's basically when you're at a very critical state. Okay, so you are going to more than likely have a lot of the illnesses. So for a person who's in that state is going to probably have fatty liver disease, going to have kidney issues, is going to have diabetes, clearly, right? Going to have diabetes, going to have heart concerns, right? And so that is one of the main things I want to drive home with you guys today, is that you need to make sure that you are at a healthy weight. And it's very easy for you, because I'm here to give you practical steps. Okay, I can get into technical and I can get into scientific terms, but I'm talking to you guys. I don't need to get technical. I don't want to get too scientific with it, because if I get too scientific with it, what's going to happen? You're confused. It's like you're back to square one. And that's not what I want for you guys, right? I'm talking to you like I'm talking to my friend, like I'm talking to my sister or my brother, right? So we're just reasoning right now. So I'm giving you guys the basics of it. Check your BMI, make sure you're in a healthy range so that you can fight off not only diabetes, but all these other issues, right? Because it's not just diabetes. Like I said before, hypertension, heart disease, all of those things have a role to play in, the obesity has a role to play in all of that. All right, and so I really wanted to make sure that I get that across to you guys. Now, let's talk about some of the symptoms that you can look for, because that is also very important, guys. So blurred vision, right? And I'll say this up front, not everybody has symptoms. And I want to speak specifically to the men for 5 seconds. Guys, go to the doctor. Once a year, go to the doctor. Okay? I know a lot of wives are battling with their husbands or boyfriends or whatever, fathers, uncles, right? Begging them, please go to the doctor. It's so important, because if you don't go to the doctor, how do you know you even have a problem, right? So make sure you're going, and it's for women too, but I know with men, because I have a husband, I know how it is. If you don't sometimes make the appointment for them, they're not going. All right, so but make sure you make your appointment, make sure you go and you check, because when you go to the doctor, they're pretty much running your numbers, and they should be able to tell, right, if you're in a pre-diabetic stage or if you're in a real critical stage, right? And most doctors, for the most part, they're going to be telling you along the way, right? But some doctors, they're just, I'm not saying that they're in a rush, but sometimes we're in a rush too. We go to the doctor and we sometimes we're scared to ask questions, right? Sometimes we're scared to ask questions because we don't want to know. And half the times that's why people don't even bother going, because they're scared to find out. But once you know, knowledge is key, right? Remember, when you know the truth, what does it say? It'll set you free. You get the truth, you'll be set free, and you can be healed. So you can live your purpose, so you can fulfill whatever it is that you've been placed on this, or God placed you here to do something, right? And so you have to fulfill that. And if you die prematurely from a disease that you weren't even meant to have because you don't know, right? How sad would that be? So I'm here to help you with that, guys. I'm here to help you with that. All right. So yeah, so things that you should look for. If you are thirsty all the time, you find your mouth dry, like really excessively thirsty, really exhausted, frequently tired, right? Vision, blurred vision, that's a part of it too. Some of the other ones, fatigue, I think I mentioned fatigue already, right? And excess hunger, excess urination, that's one of the main ones as well that you can find, okay? And some people have weight loss issues, whether it's up or down, so you can go weight loss, weight gain. So now we're going to be wrapping up very shortly. I want to talk to you about the consequences of not doing anything, because you need to know that, right? I'm a truth teller. I tell it like it is, all right? Sometimes I try to sugarcoat it, but sometimes it's kind of hard to sugarcoat it. It's just better to just tell it to you like it is. So guys, some of the things that you can think about, and again, remember I went through this with my own family members, right? So I'm telling you also from my own personal experience. And a lot of you out there who probably have family members who are dealing with this, it's something that you should know that could possibly happen, right? And so it's very important for you to get that, all right? So amputations is, which happened to my aunt, right? She had to have her foot amputated. Very difficult. And I actually ended up going up, and then she went blind. She had issues with her vision, because remember, vision is a factor as well. So she lost her vision. She had her foot amputated, and I had to go up there and help her out. And it was nice to help her out, but it was so hard to see her moving around the kitchen and, you know, trying to find her way. So on Sundays I would go up there and take care of my aunt. And then my mom would get mad at me because I would come down with my soiled, cute little dress, right? She would be so mad at me because I went up there and helped my aunt to cook or whatever I was helping her to do. But my aunt didn't have anybody else at the time to help her, so it's what I had to do. But it's a factor of what happens with type 2 diabetes. She had the amputation, then she went blind. So these are things I'm telling you that can happen if you don't take care of it, right? So that's why diabetes care, you have to speak to your doctor, you have to get diabetes care, you have to speak to a dietitian if you really need to do that, and get the care that you require, okay? So you could get also kidney issues. So you don't want to end up with a kidney problem, because then you have to deal with dialysis. And when you have to deal with dialysis, you're basically, you know how that is, for those of you who know, you're sitting there with the machine, and it's basically having to clean your blood and take care of you while you have your own kidneys that should be functioning properly. So that's one of the concerns. And I think I mentioned already, just make sure I don't forget anything. And then also, guys, stroke could be one of the issues that can come as a result of that. And I'm going to say one that you guys aren't going to like, but issues in the in certain areas. Okay, so you can actually have sexual problems as a result of this as well. All right, guys. So this is serious. I don't want to make it into a laughing matter, because it's really not. It's a very serious issue. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And how do you take care of yourself? We just mentioned some of them, like I said last week. You want to eat a good, healthy diet. Make sure that you are consulting with your doctor. You're having optimal nutrition, okay? Specific diet, you need to speak to your doctor. I'm not going to give you a specific diet here tonight. I'm only going to let you know that plant-based diet is the way to really attack this thing, okay? So if you want to address it, plant-based, and speak to your doctor. There's been a lot of studies that's been done. There's a lot of research that's been done. I am completely available if you want to learn more about this. I'll be happy to speak to you separately. If you want to email me at no cost, just email me and I will be able to respond to your questions. Also, guys, right here on Facebook, leave your questions, leave your concerns. I will address whatever I can. But at the end of the day, when it comes to diabetes, you need to have diabetes care specialist or speak to your doctor specifically about that. All right, and I think that's the last thing that I wanted to say. Yeah, so diet, exercising, reduce your weight, right? And then the last one, which is important, is to pray, right? So pray, but the other side of that, guys, is use wisdom. A lot of people that I know will say, you know, God's gonna heal it, God's gonna fix this, God's gonna remove this from me. And I totally believe in the power of prayer, because I myself pray about a lot of things, and God shifted a lot of things in my life, a lot. And so I know there's miracles, and I know that God can do it. However, when it comes to something like this, guys, you gotta really use your wisdom. And I'm saying that because I have family members who are like, yeah, man, you gotta go cure the diabetes. Okay, God give you wisdom, so you need to make sure you use it. Do not sit at home and eat all these different foods and then just expect God to magically remove diabetes from your life, right? You need to play your role. You need to play your part in making sure you do that. All right, so we're all done, guys. I'm gonna try to address your questions. I'm gonna check the time. All right, so we went a little bit over, maybe because I was telling y'all a lot of stories. And this is a very passionate topic for me. I've lost a lot of family members to it. Even this young man in my building right now actually showed me a photograph. I saw him, I haven't seen him in a while, and I ran into him and he's like, oh my gosh, what happened to you? And he's like, yeah, my diabetes acted up. And he was limping because they were almost gonna have to amputate his foot. So it's a very serious thing. It's very real, guys. So if you know anyone who needs to see this video, it's gonna be posted shortly. So if they're not on here right now, just share it with them, share it on your page so that they can see it. And again, consult a doctor. if you have a medical issue. All right, this is not meant to substitute your medicine or whatever your advice that your doctor gave you. All right, we're done with all the talking now, at least most of the talking. Let's get into the food portion. I know you guys been waiting, right? Let's get into what we're going to be making tonight. So I want to introduce something new to you guys this evening. We are going to be, so today's what, Monday, right? Monday. We're going to start this thing, and it's not from me because someone else started it. Meatless Mondays, right? Is that exciting? I know some of you are like, really? That's it? Meatless Mondays? Yeah, meatless Mondays. We are not going to be eating any meat on Mondays. Now, I already don't eat meat Monday through Sunday, right? So I don't eat no meat at all, period. So you guys are going to get on board at least on Mondays. One day you're going to do this with me, right? One day. Who's going to do it with me? Gertrude, you're going to do it with me? Thank you, Anthony Robinson. Great job. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So I'm going to try to get up to your comments in a minute. So we're going to try this Meatless Monday thing. I'm going to take you over to my section here where I have all my food already prepped for you. And I'm going to show you how I make my family what's called a big salad. All right. And I'm going to share with you some new ingredients that maybe you wouldn't think to put in a salad, right? But we're going to do that. And we're going to do that right now. All right. So let me wash my hands because you guys know I like to make sure everything is nice and clean. And all of this stuff was covered up. So let me take off the paper. And we're going to move the camera over here. Let me just wash my hands first. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, I'll get to all the questions. I saw a lot going on there while I was talking, but I wanted to focus and get it all out first before yeah, guys, thank you for coming on. See if I can mention a few names here. Sophia, thanks for being here. Marsha Turner, Princess. Yes, what I'm cooking, I'm not cooking anything. I just chop up a bunch of things, right? So, no cooking can go down today. Actually, you know what? Meline, I cook one thing. This is the only thing I cooked. And this is corn, sweet roasted corn, all right? So, that's the only thing that's cooked. Everything else here is raw. And that's what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do, to try something new. We're used to the cooking business, right? Like to turn on stove and thing. Tonight, we're not doing that. We're just going to do a little bit of throwing together. Now, I already did the work. Like I said, I chopped up everything. So, let's come over here, cameraman, a.k.a. my husband. All right. So, first thing we have, let me show you guys. Hope you can see it nice and clear. So, this right here, we have some, what is this again? I have parsley and cilantro chop up, right? Then we have some spinach and broccoli. Now, I like to base everything with greens. You could bring it down directly here. So I base everything with greens, right? So you could just zoom in directly on this now. You can see. I don't know if you can see my foot, but I'm barefoot in the kitchen. Why should I have to put on shoes? I'm in my own house. All right, guys, if you're coming on late, let me know where you're coming in from, okay? All right, so those are my greens so far. Parsley, broccoli, right? Cilantro. And also some spinach. Then I have superfood kale. All right, I absolutely love this. I always have this. I always use this in most of my salad. I have kale, and one of these days maybe I'll tell you guys a funny story about kale. All right, so that's the kale. All right, so you just want to mix that around, and you guys make salad all the time, so you should know it's very easy. You're just cutting up everything. All these are carbohydrates. Remember the good carbohydrates, right? So that's what I want to show you guys this evening. Good carbohydrates. Then I have here, wait, let me do the next one. Peppers. Vitamin C, guys. Lots of vitamin C here. And that's just all raw sweet peppers, okay? And like I said, this is a big salad. So you just want to keep moving that around. Okay, so those are all the colors of the peppers. So you start to see the colors, right? All the rainbow. Last week we were talking about eating the rainbow. This is a rainbow salad, basically. All right. Beets. I'm not going to put all of that because I like to eat some by itself. So I'm leaving some for myself as a snack. So that's just cut up beets that I cut up earlier. All right. And so beets are excellent. This is raw. I don't like to use canned beets at all. Okay. When you think about using something from the can, make sure that you're checking to see if it's BPA free, because BPA is a chemical that's found in cans. So I don't recommend using canned food unless it's BPA free and it doesn't have all that nitrite and all that other chemical stuff mixed in. All right, so as much raw as you can. All right, and beets are very good for the blood. All right, so you just mix that up. All right, now the only cooked item, like I mentioned before, is my corn. I'm gonna throw that on, and that's just to make sure we have some more color, guys. All right, so that's corn right there. We're gonna do, okay, so that's good. Now I have some fats, healthy fats. So in here you have the pumpkin seed. This is a pumpkin seed right there. And then I have some walnuts. That's healthy fat. Very, very good for the brain. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Actually, I'm not gonna put that on just yet. I'm gonna put that on towards the end. Let me put on my onion. So this is just red onion. All right, chop up small. All right, so we're gonna mix that in. It's funny, my accent is coming out more tonight than it did last week. I guess because I logged on. When I looked last week, I saw there was a lot of people from the Caribbean on, and it was really nice. It's really great. Thank you guys again for being here. This is a big salad we're doing. What I'm trying to show you is put everything that's green, everything that's vegetables in your salad. I do cauliflower salad raw. As you guys can see already in here, some broccoli, right? All that stuff you can eat raw. A lot of raw foods is so much better than when you put heat to it, okay? So this is our meatless Monday. Now, the only thing we're gonna make, and we're gonna leave my friend for the end, all right? So let's do our salad dressing, okay? So I don't really like to recommend salad dressing in any jars. I like to make my own. When I'm at home, that's what I do. I make my own salad dressing. So what I did was I went ahead and I already did the lemon. All right, so this is fresh squeezed lemon. I use 1 large lemon and that's it. And I use my little squeezer, squeeze out the juice. Make sure you don't have any of the, if the pulps are in there, it's fine. Just no seed, right? Because nobody want to bite into a seed. So this is fresh lemon juice. We're going to go ahead and put that in our bowl. Can you see? All right, so we have that. Then I also did some garlic. Okay, so minced up fine, as fine as I could get it. That's my garlic right there. And then, see, I didn't season that up. I'm seasoning up my dressing, right? So my dressing, I'm gonna put some salt. Now, if you have hypertension, you don't want to put a lot of salt, okay? So that's just about enough. What I like to do, I put a small amount and then let the person add whatever they choose. Now with that, I'm gonna put just a little bit of black pepper. Got the old school black pepper here. So we're gonna put a little bit of black pepper on there. That's a decent amount. And then I use another healthy fat, guys, olive oil. All right. So we're gonna put some of the olive oil in here, and as I whisk, I'm gonna pour. Okay. So you can see, I hope, as I whisk, I'm gonna pour. So I poured too fast just now. We can still just whisk that up. So I would say probably about, for this big salad, probably about 2.5 to 3 teaspoons, all right? So, you know, I like to guess the amount. I don't want to have to pull out a spoon right now. So, that's it. You whisk it up. If you really want to put a little balsamic vinegar in there, you can. Okay, but this is usually what I do. That is it. And I'm done. All right, so now what I'm going to do is let me plate it. And then we'll finish for tonight. That was easy, right? Now, it took me probably about 20 minutes or so to chop up everything. And that was the most of the time, was to chop up everything. Okay, now, guys, what I recommend here is, for example, with the salad right here, right? You get like a BPA-free container, plastic, or get a glass container, and you keep this in your fridge. Okay, you keep this in your refrigerator. So let's say you're a single person and you are at home and this is like this big salad. You don't want to eat the whole thing. What you want to do is store some of it and take some out as you go. All right, so I would say no more than 3-4 days. I like things fresh, so no more than 3 or 4 days in the fridge. 4 days is probably pushing it, to be honest with you, because then it starts to smell. All right, so with this, we're gonna mix as we go. So with this, let me just take out a portion, a healthy portion, for what, one of the meal that I'm gonna be sharing this evening. All right, and I want to make sure I get a little bit of everything on there. Now again, guys, this is raw except for the corn. And I almost didn't put the corn, but I said, let me give them some color, some more color. All right, so that's a nice healthy bowl of salad that we have there. Okay, so you guys already know that my favorite is the pear, as they call it in Jamaica, or avocado. And I'm always nervous when I cut them open because sometimes, you know, you don't get a good one. But this is a pretty decent one, I can tell. All right, look. Nice, right? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put that on the top. Another healthy fat, guys. If you didn't hear me last week, or if you weren't here last week, this is a healthy fat, right? So you could cut them up small on the top like that. Okay. Again, I didn't go to plating school, so I'm not a chef. So it's not going to look as perfect, right? Now I'm going to sprinkle some of the pumpkin seeds. Come closer so they can see it. Thank you. So you got some pumpkin seeds, right? Another healthy fat, I think I said that before. We got some walnuts on there. And the thing is, people don't like salad because I think they feel that the salad is going to be, like, I think most people think salad is like carrot, tomato, and lettuce, like iceberg lettuce. That's not what a salad is, at least in this house. And it shouldn't be in your house, right? You should make sure that you introduce your family to all these different types of things that we discussed earlier. All right? And share this with people. Now, 2 things I want to introduce you guys to tonight is chia seeds. If you don't know about chia seeds, you have to get this, okay? And also hemp seeds. So that's another thing that I throw on my salad as well. All right? And this all come on down closer to the plate again. So I'm just going to use like a teaspoon of that. Sprinkle it over it. All right? So you're getting all the macronutrients in this. You're getting a lot of minerals. And again, hemp seeds, look it up. Look up the chia seeds as well. And there you go. This is your salad. The only thing we have to do now is put on our dressing. All right? And then we are finito for the night. I think, yep, we're a little bit early this week, which is good. So we're just going to put a little bit of the dressing on there. Come closer, cameraman. Husband, thank you. And that's it. Your lemon, your olive oil, your garlic, fresh garlic. I think we're good. This is healthy. This is a great meatless Monday option for you. All right, guys. So please try it at home. I want to hear your comments. I didn't interact as much with you guys this evening because I really wanted to. Yeah, I should really try some, right? My husband is behind the camera telling me I should try some. And I should, but it's like, let me talk to you guys real quick first. So, follow My Temple Wellness, share, guys, and make this, all right? We're going to do this Meatless Monday thing together. I'm already doing it, but you're just going to join me, all right? So, let me dig in. I have to have a piece of avocado in there for it to count. All right, guys. Yeah. You already know. I love salad. It's good. I love it. My husband loves it. I have a 16-year-old. He loves it. He's vegan. Well, sometimes. All right, guys. So it was great to have you all. We didn't go till 7. I'm going to always try to wrap at least by 45 minutes. And I don't like to talk with food in my mouth, so I'm going to go. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks again, Jamaicans.com. I'm going to answer all your comments, all your questions. Princess, Marsha, Julianne, Wendy, all of you guys, I love you. Thank you for coming on. And again, remember, mytemplewellness.com. Check me out. Follow me on Instagram, on IG, YouTube channel, and just link me up if you guys want to say hello. All right? I'm going to go. I got to go eat, guys. Have a good night. Thanks again for being here. Appreciate y'all. And we out.